Моя презентация посвящена
Hello, my presentation will focus on the practical aspects
в аэропорту.
of upgrading InfoSec infrastructure at an airport.
2022 года
In early 2022,
привело к тому, что появилась задача по модернизации систем информационной
we were
безопасности.
faced with the objective of upgrading our InfoSec systems to
Примерно следующие действия.
thwart various threats, and naturally, we had to update various systems through import substitution, through meeting the new requirements on InfoSec imposed by the regulators. And it also meant creation of a tiered defense system. Also, we had to develop a new way of dealing with information flows. So this is when InfoSec officers had to start looking at information flows for data leaks and signs of malware.
И в-третьих, это оперативное реагирование на события информационной безопасности.
We certainly had to do incident response.
По поводу оперативного реагирования и расследования событий.
So we had to respond timely, and we had to investigate those incidents.
Перед нашим подразделением встал вопрос
Our division
построения комплексной системы защиты.
Was tasked with developing an integrated system that would protect the airport. This is the St. Petersburg airport Sergey is talking about. So we ran some projects where we would select between different InfoSec solutions from different vendors, and then we would spend like 6 months testing each of them. So having selected something that would meet our criteria, that would meet our needs, we would implement it.
О чем хочу сейчас как раз рассказать. Единственное, что
And this is something I want to cover now.
нюансы раскрыть не смогу, так как мы являемся
Naturally, I won't be able to tell you
требованиям регулятора,
of
мы
all the nuances.
не на все вопросы можем ответить. В данной презентации я хочу коснуться одного продукта, который позволил нам закрыть довольно-таки большое направление, очень важное для нас, а конкретно это PT Sandbox.
So in particular, I want to tell you about PT Sandbox. So let me give you several examples that will illustrate it all.
Это было реализовано раньше. Почтовый трафик приходил на почтовый релей, дальше он переадресовывался компании.
So mail traffic would come to mail relay, and then it would be routed to a company that we had a contract with. So they were helping us with identifying malware. Then they would return the traffic to us, it would go through AV, and it would end up in our mail server.
Можно сказать, единственный, наверное, был плюс, это то, что офицеры...
Now, the only plus here was that InfoSec officers were not really too busy with this solution. I'm not sure if it's a pro or a con, but at least that's what was the case. There were numerous disadvantages, in fact. A, it resulted in doubling, sometimes tripling, of the mail traffic. You know, the mail traffic would go around those channels many times.
Возможная утечка.
Secondly, there were opportunities for data leaks, because some data would go to third parties, and that sounded like a bad idea.
Самое главное – это скорость. Скорость доставки.
Now, what we also care about is speed. Speed of mail delivery, particularly for an airline, that could be critical. Now, what we see here is that this whole arrangement was quite convoluted. So the time it would take to deliver messages could be pretty long. So we're not happy with that. So we decided to implement a PT Sandbox, and then we changed everything. Now the traffic
на ПТ Sandbox, проводился поведенческий анализ. После этого
we would first go to the relay, then to PT sandbox, and after that, it would go to AV.
В чем плюсы? Во-первых,
And only then to the mail server. Now, the results are like this: A, reduction of the total traffic. B, we were able
третье – это
to
скорость для нас.
to stop sending information to third parties. And most importantly, we got a boost in speed. Like I said, speed is important.
Еще один плюс появился для нас.
And there's another advantage. On the previous slide, sandbox that was in the cloud was a black box. And security officers are tuning it up for their own criteria sandbox and receive all the necessary results. This project has been fulfilled within 4 months approximately, starting from the stage of testing and all the way to implementation stage. We did have problems due to the fact that being a subject of KII, we made a decision to realize this project immediately on the Astra Linux. We did have certain problems that we had to solve directly with technical specialists in positive technologies. Well, next. Example number 2. We, as many other companies, periodically have a question of transferring big files into the perimeter of the company. For this, we realized scheme. External users transferred information to the FTP server, then it was checked by antivirus. After this, we've had an extended procedure of checking for availability of malicious code. For this, in a technical support team, we've created a ticket towards the information security request. Please check these files for malicious code and then transfer it to the node. As with many other companies, our department is not very big. Specialists are busy and many tickets have not been worked on a timely basis. Then we started a lot of conversations with users. Information security officer gets away from his main job and starts checking these files and transfer it inside of the perimeter. This system was taking a lot of time. And the second biggest disadvantage was that security officers were taken away from their main job and being involved in this procedure. This was not really proper solution for us. That's why we made a decision to change the scheme. For this purpose, we applied sandbox function of automatic checking. So the external user transfers information to the FTP server, which is being checked by antivirus. After this, sandbox automatically checks these files and then transfers them into the network infrastructure inside of the perimeter to specified designated resources. This helped us to speed up the time of information transfer, which is very critical for us. And security officers right now are not involved in transition procedure. They are involved only in monitoring and setting the product from positive technologies, sandbox. We have completed this project within a period of 2 weeks. The biggest problem was with the users, on how to explain them the principle of these schemes, operation, and teach them how to use this scheme. Well, that's all.